We think and act like a luxury brand. The best part of Mercedes-Benz is the problem of plenty.
There's something for everyone.
We could have made more and more cars. We said no, we'll make cars better and better. Penetration of luxury cars in the total market is 1.1%. In Bombay, it's 2.8. If I go to South Bombay, it's already at 5.5. Slowly, the whole of India is going into the premiumization. Innovation is only happening when you are not afraid to take the risk and competition. Luxury starts where necessity ends. We don't build cars to standards. We build cars as per our standards.
Welcome to the Visionaries of India, powered by the Samsung Galaxy Book5 Series. Today I'm here to talk to someone who runs the India business of one of the largest luxury car manufacturers in the world. We'll try and understand customer insights, demand trends in India, which is a very, very competitive market. I'm talking about Santosh Iyer, who is the Managing Director and CEO at Mercedes-Benz India. In a global market where luxury demand is picking up in a big way, how does Santosh navigate the terrain? Understanding leadership at Mercedes-Benz means connecting strategy, operations, and customer insight in real time. With Samsung Multi-Control, I move seamlessly between devices. I'm analyzing the sales momentum and luxury consumer trends on my Galaxy Book5 Pro 360 and instantly pulling insights onto my Galaxy Z Fold 7. One flow, multiple perspectives, and no friction. Hi Santosh.
Hi Sonia, welcome to the home of Mercedes-Benz in India.
Thank you so much. And this doesn't feel like India, this feels like a factory in perhaps Germany or something.
You're not the first person to say that. Many visitors come in and they say they get a feel of Germany, precisely Stuttgart, when they walk in, because it's an oasis in this industrial area of Chakan. I think if you want to produce the best cars in the world, you need to have also a facility with the best infra and also the best people. But we are all co-located, one single unit, starting from production of the car to the time we sell, including our financial services arm. We also have an NBFC located inside this premises.
Oh really? Wow, that's interesting. So 100 acres is the factory size, is it?
Yeah.
Mercedes has always been very, very aspirational. I'm sure it's been the case for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
But today, Mercedes, it feels achievable. As the per capita GDP is going up, as India is going from sort of low income to middle income.
Yeah.
But is that the sense you're getting as well, that demand has picked up over the years? And how do you see things play out?
No, for sure. Sonia, if you see India's growth, and we came to India in '94, we were a joint venture with the Tatas. Later on, we came on our own. The period from '94 to 2009, we used to do hardly 2,000, 3,000 cars. We were the only OEMs. Then other German friends joined the party. The market started growing till 2014. We were still 7,000, 8,000 cars. The real acceleration started from 14 till date. We have sold close to 2 lakh cars in India. Out of the 2 lakh cars, the 1,50,000 cars are sold in the last 10 years and 1 lakh in the last 6 years. Last year, we did 19,600 cars. The total luxury car market is 52,000 cars.
How is the demand for luxury cars? Because I do hear a lot of people say that demand has petered off, has slowed down a little bit. Is that true? And how do you see things play out?
So, we had a slow start to the year. Then the quarter two, we follow a Jan-December calendar. The quarter two was again strong. And then came the GST, anticipation of a cut in prices. So that further slowed the demand. But then that led to a huge rally. I would say in September, we did close to 2,500 cars in 8 days. Again, the festive season was great. Now it's wedding season. But fundamentally, I think the GST collections are all-time high. Road infrastructure is improving. But the FX, you see the rupee has really depreciated. We benchmarked it with the euro. Today it's at 105. 12 months back, nobody could imagine. It was around 89 to 90. So a 15% depreciation in the rupee means we have to increase prices. That will have an impact on demand. So I think we are all living in a world which is uncertain. We need to play month by month, week by week, quarter by quarter. But so far so good, can't complain.
It's a brand that I think has lasted, like you said, timeless. But one aspiration stays true, which is the aspiration of luxury. And if there's one brand that sort of epitomizes that, it has been Mercedes-Benz. To sort of keep that intact, to make sure it doesn't lose its relevance, what do you do?
So to start with, it's the mindset. We keep saying think and act like a luxury brand. That's important. The second is we need to be careful that we are just custodians of the brand. We had two options. We could have made more and more cars. We said, no, we won't make more and more cars. We'll make cars better and better. So the fundamental DNA of innovation to make the cars better, to improvise on every car, on the technology, on the safety, I think that's the DNA. And for us, the mindset as leaders is to be a custodian of the brand, say that, hey, we have inherited it, we need to pass it on to the next generation. For me, the definition of luxury, I keep saying, luxury starts where necessity ends, what Coco Chanel said at some point of time. For us, it's not the gizmos. There are many brands who can say, I have a bigger screen and some 18 speakers, but I think it's a feeling of being at home that you get in a Mercedes-Benz. The feeling, we call it welcome home, kind of a feeling that a customer gets. And that's something to do with NVH, safety. We don't build cars to standards. We build cars as per our standards. So there is a lot of things that the DNA is so strong, we won't compromise just because the regulatory environment is different. So I think full respect to the Indian OEMs to make cars at cheaper prices. India, I believe, would be one of the best countries in the world to make the cheapest combustion engine cars. Made for India, very unique value proposition. But whereas if you look at our cars, they are made for the world. So therefore the standards as well as what you expect, a customer expects from us is very different from what a customer would expect from others.
So I want to understand the mindset of the consumer also, but I also want to go and see what's happening up there. So
let's get to our office then, maybe.
Okay,
yes,
great.
Please come in.
Okay, so now we're heading to your office.
Yes.
I really like the fact that, your entire space is very clean, but it also feels very, very aspirational in itself to work here.
No, the employees take a lot of time to come from the city to office.
Yeah.
So I think the least we can do is to provide a good working environment.
Space
and
for them.
Space for them, yes. And feel like home as they feel in a car.
So, talking about the luxury aspect of the car, I have this Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 phone, this fabulous phone with me.
Nice.
And I want to understand from you, if I'm buying a luxury car, what is the kind of luxury experience I can get on the phone first? Can I choose my colors? Can I choose my configuration? And then how do I proceed from there?
No, it's quite critical, Sonia, because almost all our customers start their journey online and they start configuring the car online as well. So we will be the only luxury car brand where the prices shown online and the prices in the store will be the same. We do a direct to consumer retail. So the price transparency is there, offer transparency is there, because why people come online is also to check pricing apart from the cars. Also, when you see here, first of all, the way the configuration, it's winter time, at least if you see, and therefore, the customization is there. Small things, you can turn off the light, turn it on, and you can see the difference between day and night, change the colors. But that's about the configuration. Once you select, you can download a QR code, go to the nearest retailer. They will show you colors, upholstery, trim options on a physical format. So you can actually compare your online configurator car with the physical touch and feel of all the color, upholstery, trim levels, wood, feel, interiors. Finally play with it and decide, and again generate a QR code which becomes your order. You can also place your order online here, and it's transparent. Any part of India, you can get delivery of your car as well.
Wow.
So it's a complete seamless journey, real omni-channel.
Okay. Wow, you have a beautiful office, Santosh.
Yeah, this is where I come in every day after a long drive, morning around an hour and evening 2 hours. So yeah.
There's a really nice wall here. So I want to take a quick look at it. All the models are here. Which is your favorite one, by the way?
Well, I personally love to drive a C63 AMG as such, but these AMG GTs, etc., they really steal my heart. Of course, the G-Wagon. The best part of Mercedes-Benz is the problem of plenty.
There's something for everyone.
Exactly.
So my favorite has always been the G-Wagon. And this model looks really, really cool, especially the green color G-Wagon. But for Gen Z, as they call it, right, the new generation, what is aspirational in to own in a Mercedes?
There is a lot of customers who get into the S-Class Maybach straight away. A lot of young startup founders who have written got the check and now they want to straight away get in there. I still remember I had gotten a call from somebody in Bangalore who said, I've got my pen, which was again customized. I got my watch, but you have to make the car happen. I will only go in the S-Class Maybach. But some of them take time because of their CBUs as well. So we have to explain, but we make it happen as far as possible.
Okay, so the Maybach and the G-Wagon are the aspirational ones in the Mercedes. So I do have a problem statement for your entire team and I would like to give them a challenge right now. So let's go. Welcome to the Productivity Playbook powered by the Samsung Galaxy Book5 Series. We are going to test the leadership of the Mercedes-Benz leaders and you can share your answers with me on the Samsung devices using the quick share feature. So now I have a common problem statement for all of you. So first up, I have Vikas here with me. Vikas, thank you for being here and thank you to the rest of you as well. Now I'm going to tell you the problem statement and then you can give me your viewpoint, right? Luxury in a data-driven world. With data influencing every customer decision today, how can leadership like yourselves align market insights, operational readiness and customer engagement to create a truly personalized luxury experience? And we will also run these answers past Santosh and of course get his view as well. So that will be very exciting. Okay, so while we were chatting, this picture really caught my eye. It looks very, very futuristic. So tell me, are we all set to see this car on the Indian roads?
Sonia, yes, this car was last year a concept car and this year it's already become a reality. The AMG GT XX, we just debuted that in Affaltabad. An electric car, in the AMG platform, which was always a big thing, why you need electrics in supercars. But this car has 1000 kilowatt of engine, 0 to 100 in 2 seconds odd and 0 to 200 in less than 5 seconds. Very fast battery charging. So what we have done is, it's just not concepts, but we have also shown that these concepts can become reality today, not just in the future. We intend to get this to tease India for sure, but it will come in the roads 12 to 18 months.
So since you're talking about electric cars, I wanted your viewpoint on how things can move from here because with all of this talk about pollution and about how the central government has to work on creating effective last mile connectivity in terms of electric transport, public transport, etc. Where do companies like yours fit in?
So frankly, Sonia, the electrification is the core agenda for electrifying is decarbonizing the industry, right? We all know that we are contributing to a lot of emissions when it comes to not only manufacturing but also the tailpipe emission which a consumer can see and feel, and right now it's highly topical even in India. So now there are three stakeholders. One is as OEMs. For us as Mercedes-Benz, we clearly said that there is no luxury without sustainability. We need to ensure that we are prepared to offer options to the consumer. Then is the government. So the government has also done, different GST rates, for example, 5% for EVs, 40% for combustion engines. But then comes the customer. Here, many of them are not yet ready. Because for a couple of things. One, they feel that an EV car is still very closer to a mobile phone or a laptop. I think there's a lot of education required there. Second is, I am used to this combustion engine cars being driven. Why should I change? I like the smell of gasoline. I like the power. And I think, why me on sustainability? Let somebody else do it. Let me enjoy my life. That's a set of customers who also feel. The third set is saying, why now? Okay, let the world buy, I will buy after that. So let me wait.
Let them do the trial.
Let them do the trial and error and let me see. And then there are real world practical issues like charging, infrastructure, ease of charging, cost of charging, range anxiety. And then the last is the end of life. The residual values are very less. So there is a 10 to 20% difference between a combustion engine car residual value and an EV. So a lot of customers then feel, hey, today it's quite cheap. Maybe it's a great TCO, but when I go to sell the car at the end of 3 or 4 years, I won't get the kind of money. So we have to work on educating the customer and solving all these pain points for the customer. We call it something called the Havana effect. When you go to Cuba and others, you still find old cars still playing on the roads. And the reason is the new cars are super expensive, 1000% taxes, you can't get them in. And similarly, if you try to rush too fast, old polluting cars will stay on the road because consumers cannot, they have to buy an EV, they are not ready to buy an EV, so they will say, let me continue to hold my old combustion engine car.
Okay.
So let the customers keep evolving, and over a period of time, maybe the EV curve is much stronger than the ICE curve, and then we are able to do the transition. The maturity has to come in, and we need to be patient.
Okay, so this is a really exciting property, and I mean, as we were talking earlier as well, it's not something that I've seen before. So it's very nice, it's amazing space. I want to see more of the customer experience. But before that, I also want to show you the answers that your team gave us.
Wow, I would love to see that.
Statement.
Yeah, let's go and check it out.
Okay, let's go.
See you.
Come. So your team has given us some responses to the problem statement, and I want you to go through it and give me your view. So of course we were talking about luxury in a data-driven world, and how can it basically lead to personalization, customization? What does all of this mean? You want to go through it?
Yeah.
Let me start by saying data gives us insights, and insights with the help of data from selling a car to curating an experience. The experience may start right at the time of giving a test drive to the customer, when he wants, how he wants, to the ultimate moment of a delivery of the car to the customer at the location he wants and how he wants it. And we are trying to elevate the whole customer experience to an altogether new.
So actually with data-driven insights, we can potentially track something called as the customer lifetime value. For me, personalization becomes even more important in a data-driven world, because ultimately luxury is all about, being made to feel super special, right? So personalization can also help us remove some of the inefficiencies, remove the wastage that can exist in the customer experience, that too without compromising on the brand integrity.
You're talking about luxury, right? So, as the saying goes, luxury begins where necessity ends, right? 139 years ago, we invented the automobile, right? And with the data, we just keep on reinventing it again and again. With our latest AI-enabled MBUX, the car is more of a companion for our customers, right? So I would say data is just a tool. The star remains the promise. And yes, with years now, in times to come, our customers will experience more and more what the true star promise is there to stand by them.
Wow, that's insightful. I think that I told you earlier, the brand is blessed to have colleagues and people working in our team who know the brand better. They are more passionate, and it reflects in what they feel for the brand and how. I think data today is nothing new, but how to use data, I think that's more important. Also, with the transition to AI, this even becomes even more critical. So yeah, I can only agree with each one of them. So for us, the starting point of data is to ensure confidentiality and privacy to start with, because customer data, our customers are really in the different segment of society. So we need to value their privacy. So what kind of standards we have first to store data and use data with the right consent. So and then to see how can we use data to improve customer experience, because I think the business side of it is always there, but can we improve customer experience using the data? The new E-Class, for example, we have something called routines. So every day a customer, when he gets into the car, morning you drop your kid to school, the aircon, the seating position, the music, everything will be different than evening when you have to go to a party. And it really learns from you, and the AI using the data of the consumer is able to personalize the car, the music, the aircon to suit the customer's needs. So I think this is for us is the biggest point of inflection, where what can we do using data to improve customer experience. We are the only brand to do direct to consumer retail. So we have a lot of access to customer data. So again, what can we do not only on the revenue side, but also customer experience side? The team is continuously working to harness and then see. Now with AI, it only accelerates even further.
Okay, so before we go and check out the Customer Experience Center, which I'm very excited about, let's call your entire leadership team and have a quick photo session.
Yeah, I would love that. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so finally we're in the Experience Center.
Yeah.
It looks really fancy, and I love all the display of cars, but tell me a little bit about it.
So we use it for two purposes. One is, of course, we have a lot of events here. Also, corporates come in, they do workshops, they show the plant. But also, we have certain customers who don't, who want to configure cars. They want to check out certain exotic cars here. They want private consulting, so they also come in. Till some years back, we used to have a helipad. Now we have actually put up a parts warehouse there. But yeah, we have a helipad close by, so they also sometimes come in, check out, configure, talk to the team, and then go in. So it's more of giving them an experience about the brand, seeing how the cars are made, along with the brand history and a bit of off-roading experience as well.
Wow, that's interesting. So customers come all the way here for experience?
Many. Every month I have close to 50 to 70, 50 to 100 I would say customers coming in every month. Who come in, there are programs here where they can come in with their friends and families, have a full day package.
Amazing, amazing. Just a few more questions before we wrap this conversation. It's been a really nice conversation with you to understand the luxury car market. But just to summarize it, if you had to tell us about what you see as the opportunity for luxury cars in India and globally over the next, say, couple of years, what could the growth look like? And are we staring at exponential growth, or do you think that it could be moderate growth going forward?
See, globally there are many factors. One is electrification, second is the geopolitical setup, considering borders are getting closed in some parts of the world, some parts India is still trying to open up the borders. So I think globally it's a much more fluid state, also with China, electrification, many things. But coming to India, let's talk about the total automotive industry to start with. It's around 4.3 million cars, growing at 5 to 6%. If you look at the car penetration per thousand, India is at 32 cars compared to the 500 odd cars in Germany and developed markets. So the runway to just sell more cars is there. But the question to ask there is, in a country like India with 1.4 billion population, should we do that? Should we not have more public transport because of the congestion and the public health topic? On the other end of the spectrum is luxury cars. So in the 4.3 million car market, 52,000 luxury cars are sold. That's 1.1% of the total market. So it's quite still small. In developed economies, it's 5 to 8%. In terms of the total share of luxury cars to the total market. So if you look at pure data sets, clearly there is an ample room for growth, ample headroom for growth. Now the question is, why at 52,000 as well today? Is the wealth an issue? I think wealth is still there in India, more so in tier 2, tier 3 and other markets, but the consumption to luxury is still much lower because one is, the cultural aspect of investing in some of these asset class is much lesser compared to gold, compared to silver, compared to capital markets. I think the affinity of consumers are much more for a safer haven. To splurge on own is not also our own ethos, right, culturally. So it takes time. So it's now that we see youngsters, they reward themselves, they have achieved something, now they say, come on, let's also invest. I think post-COVID, the realization that life can be really short has also come up. Plus infrastructure being developed in India, the roads, and earlier, Delhi, Jaipur, people used to take flights, or Hyderabad, Chennai, now they go by road. They feel that my car would be there even when I reach the destination, because, car is like your personal space. So these are small trends which are actually growing. So if you add up all of this, I think there is clearly scope for growth, significant growth as well. Disabler is still, because the volumes are small, the localization content in our cars are limited. And when localization is limited, you are depending more on imports. And if the exchange rate and rupee now with this free fall, it becomes more expensive. So, when I joined this company, the C-Class was less than 20 lakhs, 2009. Today, the C-Class on road is 60, 65 lakhs. So, 3 to 4 times in the last 16 years is the way the prices have gone up. Also, a lot of technology and environmental related compliance adds to cost. So, but India is growing. The pyramid also, if I look at premiumization, is growing. What gives me hope is, let's take Mumbai. I said that penetration of luxury cars in the total market is 1.1%. In Bombay, it's 2.8 already. So that means Mumbai as a city has 2.8% penetration. Then we go by pin codes. If I go to South Bombay, it's already at 5.5. Okay, which means South Bombay penetration of luxury cars is as good as any part of developed country in the world. Developed countries and economies in the world, which also means that if slowly The whole of India is going into the premiumization. You can just multiply the numbers, it's going to be exponential. So these are the positive ways to look at it. Negative, of course, geopolitical setup, exchange rate, prices going up, economic development is always not as linear. So we have to calibrate ourselves. I think we have a flexible plant, flexible mindset, more importantly, to grow. And I think that should help us to continue our growth journey in India.
So you had made that famous statement about SIPs versus Mercedes, right? Mercedes, that went viral. Do you still believe that?
I think what the point I was trying to make is the saving mindset. It's not that people don't have 50,000 rupees EMI to pay for a Mercedes-Benz or a lakh of rupees, let's say. But the lakh, the moment, even if there is a salary increase or I'm doing something else, they want to put it back into saving. And we culturally don't just save for ourselves or for our retirement. We save for our kids. We save for that unknown future. So that's a very, very driving factor of not growing exponentially the market as it has to grow. So it was more of a metaphor about SIPs being done, but the same applies to gold and silver. You can see right now there is a rally. I think most of the investment advisors are being asked, should I put more on silver and gold? The metal by itself doesn't generate anything, but there is still the expectation that it'll appreciate. There are still people parking monies in those asset classes.
Also, as a culture, I think Indians they want to be slightly understated, right? Even if they have money, they don't want to show it. A lot of corporates go through this issue where profiteering is considered a bad word. Do you think that mindset needs to change?
Surely, I think the thing of it also changes in different parts of India in terms of this mindset. Wealth was considered an evil in the past. Today, not so much. The younger generation, not at all, maybe. And I think it's a generational shift that will make people believe that capitalism is not bad, it is good, it creates jobs, it creates stuff. So, and that shift earlier, if somebody drove a luxury car, the neighbor would think, acha, ye kar kya raha hai? What is they doing? Today, that's not there. Today, at least they feel they are hardworking and they may also bought a luxury car. It's just not that. I think thanks to reforms like GST, the books have become transparent. Now there is books for loan to be availed. Earlier, pre-GST, there were no books. People said, I can pay, but will I get a loan? But they never had a proper books in place. Today, because of GST, digitalization, IT, a lot of tax returns being filed, there is ability to get credit is there. People can now use that to buy cars. So these are all structural changes which generally take generations. I think these are all accelerating the way we spend and consume as well. And then there is always two schools. Okay, let me not now add more debt to my portfolio. Let me continue to save. Once I saved enough using all the capital market instruments, let me buy a luxury car. Yeah. I rather say one has to be calibrated, including me. I come from a very different background, but it's always important that you also reward yourself at some point of time with finer things in life. And that's just not cars, but houses. You see luxury housing, watches as a category. All of them you are seeing a significant boom because now consumers and I would say people are rewarding themselves as well.
Absolutely. I think there's that mindset shift. Talking about mindset shifts, I was having this conversation with someone earlier as to why India has not produced a large say tech company or like a large product company like we have in the West, like a Meta, Alphabet, Amazon. Is it that, and why is innovation not such a big thing in India, right? I mean, if you look at Indian corporates, R&D spends as a percentage of GDP is still 1%, maybe 1.5% compared to 6-7% in developed nations. So do you think things are changing or still a lot more needs to be done?
Well, a lot needs to be done, and it starts from the education system itself. Innovation today, you look at the number of research papers that's being published, you look at the number of patents being filed. As a country, we are far off. I think we are too fast to be pleased with ourselves. We don't challenge ourselves enough. And the entire conservatism, let's be conservative. India has invented a lot in the past, but today's generational shift and the culture and its corporates is nothing but a mix of the society, right? It's just a reflection of the societal topics. There, the ability to take risk and disrupt and actually invent, that's the DNA I think we had as India, but I think that DNA needs to be reinvented. It needs to start from schools, encourage the free thinking, encourage the open way to experiment and fail. that's failure is treated negatively a lot.
Yeah.
So when that's the case, people don't tend to innovate because they always the fear of failure is also too high. Next year, as we speak, we as a brand are entering into the 140 years of innovation because it's 140 years back that we filed the patent for the motorcraft, the first car that we invented, and ever since we try to invent, and that's a very different culture when I go to Stuttgart because they're restless. They want to keep on raising the bar. And be it
And they're
open
okay
source.
with failure.
And not only okay with failure, they're even open to be open sourced about what we are innovating. When we did the three-pointed seatbelt, or when I say a lot, many of these are open source. Today, the automotive industry can take it and adapt if it's a safety relevant topic. So I think there is no fear. A lot of criticism on Europeans also talking about the Chinese have come into Europe and the car industry is challenging now there. Why have they invited? But who is winning? Customer. Who is winning? Innovation. Because one way is to close the border and say, I won't allow anyone because my local industry will die. The other way is, hey, come in. We learn from you if we are weak and then we become better than you as well. But in general, innovation is only happening when you open up, when you are not afraid to take the risk and competition. If you're afraid of any of these factors and you close it, you will never innovate.
So collaboration is more important than competition these days. I completely agree with you. Even in India, right? Indian companies, of course, are doing a lot. But if the global companies start coming to India in a big way, then domestic companies will get challenged. Demand could suffer a lot.
No, but I think the domestic companies have USPs which the multinationals may not have. Their frugality, which is strength of India. They also innovate. If you look at automotive industry, the cars in India is a minimum viable product for the Indian consumer. Why don't you find the big multinationals in India having significant share of the market? Couple of them actually left India as well, right? In that sense, and that's because I think a lot of credit goes to the OEMs who are based in India. You can now argue whether Suzuki is an Indian OEM or a Japanese or maybe so on and so forth. But I think they are as Indian because they have been in India for many years, and I think and they have tried to bring those products to India. Also, when I look at all the other companies which are really bringing products, I think there is something. They no longer need any protectionism. In fact, it's an entry barrier for many to come into India and try to sell cars. EVs, you have to take it aside. Yes,
Yeah,
that is still certain economies have an advantage of starting early and really making it much more cost effective. But if you look at combustion engines, which is 96% of the market, Indian automotive companies are quite strong.
Okay, well, on that note, Santosh, thank you so much. It was a lovely day here at your factory. I won't call it a factory because it doesn't look like one at all. It's a beautiful facility over here that you have, and all the best to you for the new year. Wishing you and your entire team here a very happy new year, and thank you so much for being here.
Thanks a lot for coming in here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Santosh, for joining us. And thank you to all of you for watching. This is Visionaries of India, presented by Samsung Galaxy Book5 Series.